All right, this is a little show and tell of the quiz manager that I built for S tier trivia. So this is the channel, the backend, looks like this right now. I just uploaded this one. I uploaded both of these. I used my dashboard to do that. The dashboard has a couple of different parts. There's the front end, which is a Flask Python driven front end with using Flask. There is a backend API, which is also Fast API, and then or Flask, and then we are using workers. We have a Redis server kind of sitting out in front, and when you want to queue up a video render or a video upload, it gets queued on the Redis server, and then I have a worker here that will pull each one of those, pull those jobs and upload them to YouTube or render the video. So I'll do a really quick. I'll kind of get one started. A full render takes a few minutes. Definitely a few minutes. It could be faster, but that's kind of relying on my computer at the moment. Let's take a look at quizzes. We'll go to quiz 7 here. We've already generated, so this gets generated. It feeds the title and the questions to AI. In this case, I'm using Ollama locally to generate that. If you go to edit quiz, there's a big generate button here that will actually go generate this. Let's go back to quiz. So this one's ready to render. So we'll click we'll click render video. It's been queued. I'm gonna tweak the front end a little bit, but you can kind of see on the back end here we have rendered this video, and it picks up and pretty quickly does most of it. It fetches the TTS from ElevenLabs. It puts together the scenes. We're using MoviePy to do all this, and right now it's stitching it all together. So the sound, the background, all that stuff gets put together, and then once that's done, we'll get our video here under video renders. I need to put something on my front end here to kind of show that that's happening. I think the problem right now is it doesn't even put something in video renders, the table, until that video is actually rendered. So I need to work on that. Maybe a rendering status for this. Ready for rendering, rendered. We probably need one in between that to kind of denote that this one's being rendered. Two things about it. One, you can render this video multiple times. You can even render it more than one at a time if you have more workers. I can spawn 3 or 4 workers to watch the back end here. I'll pause it for a second, come back when this is fully rendered out, and then we'll continue. Let's look at some of my Git history real quick while it's finishing the render. Let's switch back over here. We do have this view, not this one. So let's go back to quizzes, and you can actually see the questions. I do like the TTS with ElevenLabs. Granted, even some of them sound better than me, but I did go in and I made a audio. So let's say audio 20. I've worked on this to the way the audios are clipped together. They actually can dynamically change the length of the video. Most of them wind up around 27 seconds, which gets me, usually 60 to in the 90 percentile of watch time, which is kind of cool. So the way I built this it uses ffmpeg, and there's another Python library that will save, but it actually uses the browser, so I can record the title. Once I allow it, I say US History Quiz 7. And then I would stop it. Now I can check it. US History Quiz 7. You know, I'm not going to save it because it actually will save it to the database. And I have like a share that all this stuff goes into the front end and the back end. You know, they both can use a share. Most of the stuff is built to run in Docker right now, and because I only run it local, I'm not really worried about expanding on that. I like my, once I tag a release for this for myself, basically that's all it's for. I will run it in Docker for myself to manage, and my wife to manage the S tier trivia channel. All right, so we're here. It's rendered. We can see, we can refresh and see it. You can look on the back in here, and you can see it finished the job okay, which is kind of cool. It's the beauty of like Redis and my workers. It makes this really the system kind of humps together really, really quite nice. So at this point, I would always proof it. Just watch it. Oh. I'm not super happy with the ElevenLabs on those, but without me being able to like probably work with a better mic and stuff, which I don't have another mic. You're listening to me on the laptop, so I don't like how my voice turns out for these. So maybe I know with the Python app that I'm using or package, you can add like some compression and things like that, but a better mic would go a long ways to making these a little bit more listenable. So I have this now. We can upload it to YouTube. Are you sure you want to upload it? Let's cancel. So what it'll do is it'll take this, and I do in the code, it does tack on like hard codes a couple of extras there that we can work on, but it'll use the title and the description, and we'll be able to see that US History Quiz 7. So let's click OK. It's uploaded, it has been queued. It pretty much happens instantaneously. It's already up by the time I was able to switch over, because they're so small. So now we'll switch over to YouTube. Refresh. It might be processing, but it'll be here. Where are you at? There it is. It'll be processing the HD version of that or whatever. So we can click on it. Like I said, it hard codes a couple of those in there. I probably won't send it out with all those on there, but we'll do something like that for now. But otherwise, I can publish it anytime I want. Publish it right now if I want. But because I'm just trying to do like one or use it one a day is really what I'm trying to do. So we'll go back, and we've got two basically ready. And just real quick, I'll go back and show. Where's my time? We're at almost 10 minutes. I'm working on a flashcard type for friends, my kids as well. They need to study like their timetables. So I've been working on a version, and I call it a flashcard versus multiple choice because if you have flashcard set, when it renders, it doesn't it doesn't worry about the answer. So it will show you the problem, which would be 1 times 8, and then it'll 2-second pause or whatever, and it'll say 8. So it's kind of like the replicating the old school flashcard thing. So that's basically the next evolution of this little app that I built. Anyway, that's just a show and tell. It's not a how-to by any means, because it's been evolving over weeks. So as I get the time, I have been doing I got the renderer working by an API for a while, and I just front ends are just not my forte. So it took me a little while to put together the front end, and it still needs a lot of work, but it's as of today, it's with it being able to fully get me from I can create a quiz, put my questions in, put the answers, mark it, and then get it all the way to a rendered state is a really big deal. Some of these are a lot more involved than that. I was using Unity. I built a renderer in Unity to do these shortly after I started, which was pretty cool. I mean, it's really cool. I liked it, but having this web native workflow gives people outside of myself the ability to work on these quizzes and even render them. I'll probably put user permissions in the system before I let anybody outside of me and my wife managing these. But where you could just you can upload them. They'll always go in a draft state maybe, and then I'll be the one to come in and publish them, or maybe her. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Bye.